In 1933, a geophysicist and mining engineer named George Warren Shufelt learned of a Hopi legend of a race of people called the Lizard People who built a massive underground city beneath the city of Los Angeles from an elder tribesman named Chief Greenleaf. Using an X-ray machine, Shufelt verified the existence of the city and began drilling operations to get boots on the ground in LA's catacombs. An article for the Los Angeles Times titled "Lizard People's Catacomb City Hunted. Engineers SinksShaft under the Fort Moore Hill to find maze of tunnels and priceless treasures of legendary inhabitants," chronicled the tale. The piece appeared in the January 29, 1934 issue and is often cited by those who believe that our planet has been infiltrated by an evil race of reptile-like beings. The text of the article is as follows. Busy Los Angeles, although little realizing it in the hustle and bustle of modern existence, stands above a lost city of catacombs filled with incalculable treasure and imperishable records of a race of humans further advanced intellectually and scientifically than even the highest type of present-day employees, in the belief of G. Warren Shufelt, geophysical engineer, now engaged in an attempt to wrest from the lost city deep in the earth below Fort Moore the secrets of the lizard people of legendary fame in the medicine lodges of the American Indian. So firmly does Shufelt believe, and a little staff of assistants believe, in the maze of catacombs and priceless golden tablets are to be found beneath downtown Los Angeles, that the engineer and his aides have already driven a shaft 250 feet into the ground. Shufelt learned of the legend of the Lizard People after his radio X-ray landed him hither and yon over an area extending from the public library on West 5th Street to the Southwest Museum on Museum Drive at the foot of Mount Washington. I knew I was over a pattern of tunnels, the engineer explained yesterday, and I had mapped out the course of the tunnels, the position of large rooms scattered along the tunnel route, as well as the position of deposits of gold, but I couldn't understand the meaning of it. According to the legend as imparted to Shufelt by Macklin, the radio X-ray has revealed the location of one of the three lost cities of the Pacific Coast, the local one having been dug by the Lizard People after the Great Catastrophe, which occurred about 5,000 years ago. This legendary catastrophe was in the form of a huge tongue of fire, which came out of the southwest, destroying all life in its path, the path being several hundred miles wide. The city underground was dug as a means of escaping future fires. The lost city, dug with powerful chemicals by the Lizard People instead of a pick and shovel, was drained into the ocean where the tunnels began, according to legend. The tide passing daily in and out of the lower tunnel portals and forcing air into the upper tunnels, providing ventilation, and cleansed and sanitized the lower tunnels, the legend states. Large rooms in the domes of the hills above the city labyrinths housed 1,000 families in a manner of tall buildings, and imperishable food supplies of the herb variety were stored in the catacombs to provide subsistence for the lizard folk and for great lengths of time as the fire swept over the earth. The Lizard People, the legend has it, regarded the lizard as a symbol of long life. Their cities laid out like a lizard, according to the legend, its tail to the southwest, far below 5th and Hope Streets, and its head to the northeast at Lookout and Marta Streets. The city's key room is situated directly under South Broadway, near 2nd Street, according to Shufelt and the legend. The key room is the directory to all parts of the city and to all record tablets, the legend states. All records were kept on gold tablets 4 feet long and 14 inches wide. On these tablets of gold, gold having been the symbol of life to the legendary Lizard People, will be found the recorded history of the Mayans. On one particular tablet, the southwest corner of which will be missing, is to be found the record of origin of the human race. Shufelt stated that he has taken X-ray pictures of some 37 tablets, 3 of which have their southwest corners cut off. My X-ray pictures of tunnels and rooms, which are subsurface voids, and of gold pictures with perfect corners, sides, and ends, are scientific proof of their existence, Shufelt said. However, the legendary story must remain speculative until unearthed by excavation. The lizard people, according to Macklin, were of a much higher type intellectually than modern human beings. The intellectual accomplishments of their 9-year-old children were the equal of those of present-day college graduates, he said. So greatly advanced scientifically were these people that, in addition to perfecting a chemical solution by which they bored underground without removing earth and rock, they also developed a cement far stronger and better than any in use in modern times with which they lined the tunnels and the rooms. Macklin said legendary advice to the American Indians was to seek the lost city in an area within a chain of hills forming the frog and horse's hoof. The contour of the hills surrounding this region formed such a design, substantiating Shufelt's findings, he said. Shufelt's radio device consists chiefly of a cylindrical glass case inside which a plummet attached to a copper wire held by the engineer sways continually, pointing, he asserts, toward minerals or tunnels below the surface of the ground, and then revolves when over the mineral, or swings in prolongation of the tunnel when above the excavation. He has used the instrument extensively in the mining fields, he said. As is so often the case with these tales, this fantastic story ended with a whimper. Los Angeles Magazine said the following about the affair. The deal made by Shufelt and his small team of associates was a 50-50 split with the county, but the dig was plagued by challenges. Dense boulders and plenty of mud after the shafts passed the water table. Some experts claimed the dig must reach 1,000 feet, and while Shufelt did accomplish 250 feet, he found no gold or tunnels. When winter turned to spring and the digging stopped, the money dried up, and the newspaper stories vanished, along with the radio x-ray. G. Warren, as he was called in the days of the great Lizard City quest, stayed around Los Angeles and finally passed on in North Hollywood in November of 1957, leaving behind a great story and this memorable map. Who were the lizard people in the 1934 Los Angeles Times article? Were they the same dreaded reptilians that Ike, Kasten, and others have written about extensively? Were they the fabled subterranean race of Hopi oral tradition? Something else entirely? Or was this just another in a long list of sensational tales, similar to the stories in the pulp fiction magazines of the day?